Welcome back, everyone. Missy Heydrich here, and we are now joined by the student athletes and head coach from West Virginia. They were 19-12 a year ago, 10-8 in Big 12 play, and an NCAA tournament appearance as a 10 seed. We welcome new West Virginia head coach Mark Kellogg here after 8 seasons at Stephen F. Austin in the 2020. Kaya Watson, welcome to all of you. Coach, I'm going to start. Welcome to Kansas City, to the Big 12. You take over a West Virginia program that's coming off an NCAA tournament, but yet when you have a coaching change, there's a lot that happens there, both on and off the court. It's not easy for anyone. What was the most important thing for you when you got to Morgantown and putting your stamp on this program?
Well, yeah, I was the third coach in 3 years, so that's not the ideal situation, for these guys. Right. Didn't affect me necessarily, but for them, I had to, essentially, I guess, re-recruit or give them and let them know what, the expectations and the vision for the program, where we wanted to go. And, thankfully, when I got there, really, we had 6 that were committed to staying, and all 6 did. And so I kind of thought that was like win number one, right, was to keep that group intact that, as you said, had been to the NCAA tournament and has had success, and we just want to take it to another level. But it started with those guys, and we added some pieces. And so really it was just that was it, just to kind of win that group over with what our vision was and the style of play and how who we were as people. And it's actually been this is my 5th time taking over a program, and this has been the easiest of all of them. But I kind of credit these guys because they've made it easy from that standpoint.
All 3 of these young women part of that NCAA tournament trip. And so what has it meant to have that leadership in the transition process, but also as you implement a new system of X's and O's, you've got to have people that have been through the trenches and they've done it at a high level to win.
No, they have, and so I think that's what's been great, is to have that group of 6 that has been there, has competed in the NCAA tournament. I've had some staff members that have coached with me before, so we've had some continuity there. I've coached in the NCAA tournament before, so when we put it all together, I think we feel really good. And so I'm going to draw on these guys to help us from what Morgantown is like, and West Virginia, and the Big 12, and that's been, I guess, put us at ease, I guess, a little bit, and then we'll put our stamp on the program with our philosophy.
Talk about that philosophy maybe on both ends of the floor, what people are going to see from West Virginia women's basketball this season.
Well, we'll get after people, and so we do like to press, and we mix up our defenses quite a bit. And then offensively, we hope it's free-flowing and allow some of that, defense to our offense come from that defense and some of the pressure. So that's what it should look like. It's still a work in progress, and we're working through that right now. But that will be our identity. That will be our stamp. Back in the men's West Virginia days, it was Press Virginia, and I don't know that I'm going to steal that one, but I might need to come up with some mantra for us and our program here pretty soon.
Everybody needs a slogan. That's how this works. I'll remind our friends in the media, if you have a question, please raise your hand, and we will bring a microphone over to you. All right, ladies, I'm going to ask you some questions. JJ, I'm going to start with you. Preseason All Big 12 selection, you were unanimous first-team All Big 12 selection a year ago. Also part of that defensive team. You sat in this chair. I asked you last year what you focused on in the offseason from your sophomore, getting ready for your junior year. So if you were going to look at this, or your freshman year, sophomore year, if you're going to look at this season and say, this is what I did in the offseason to make me an even better player all around and in this league, what do you focus on?
I focus more on my 3-point selections, just getting that percentage up, and then of course always working on my mid-range and just always working on my finishes, getting to the hoop, and that's what I like to do. So just working on my game in general, just developing my game, especially with him, talking with Coach Kellogg, and defensively just working on that box-out part. So yeah, got to get that down.
You can't just turn and run. You actually got to put a body on somebody. That makes a big difference. I understand. You play with a lot of speed, and that's what speed has been in part of your game. Do you feel like that fits in this new system with Coach? And does he rein you in a little bit, or are they letting it go?
I feel like my speed fits well with his philosophy. Just once he said we was pressing, I was like, oh, yes, sir. I'm ready. But, yeah, I think him coming in, just bringing that press in, bringing a lot of girls that came with him with the same speed and all that is going to be great for us.
Well, that's good news. You get to get up and down the floor. Mm-hmm. All right, Jayla Hemingway, you are your 4th year at West Virginia, 13 double-figure scoring games a year ago. You were a transfer yourself not long ago, came into this program a couple years ago. Lots of new faces for this team, so you've got some experience. What What has been your advice to some of the new players in your roster as you think about not only assimilating to Morgantown and your institution, but playing in the Big 12?
Yeah, the Big 12, it's a very physical league. So I feel like we have a lot of new players, and they all kind of adjusted pretty well. I feel like, our school is a good place where it feels like a family environment. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it was pretty easy for everybody to adjust and, get used to each other. So that was good.
And talk a little bit maybe about how practices are going. What has been the competitive nature? Are people getting in the trenches? Are we getting after it? So how's practice been these early few weeks?
We definitely are very competitive in practice. We go against each other a lot. We don't always just go against our practice players. So we definitely try to go in there, go at each other, and make each other better.
Kyle Watson, you started 31 games a year ago. You were a newbie to West Virginia last season, having transferred from South Dakota. You've got that experience. When you average about 30-plus minutes a game, that's logging a lot. And I know you did a little bit of everything for your squad a year ago. What was your focus in the off-season? What are some of the things that Coach and his staff talked about where your game goes to the next level for this season?
I think one thing that he wanted me to focus on was getting my shooting percentage up. So I worked on that, and then just like being more aggressive on offense, attacking the rim, getting to the rim, getting to the free throw line. You can shoot some more free throws this year.
Yeah, take advantage. Get the freebies when you can get them, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to make them pay. If they're going to foul, you got to make them pay.
Yeah.
Coach, let me ask you this. When you think about kind of putting your stamp on this, but yet you've got the gauntlet of the Big 12. And so a lot of people have said we've got to think about our non-conference as opportunities to get some wins, some confidence. How did you approach it? What are you looking for this group early on in the season?
And we approached it that way, get as many wins as we can early. Really, when we got the job in April, there weren't too many games scheduled, which was a little late to find games, but it also allowed us to find the ones that we could and schedule it the way we wanted to. So we've got some regional, like we play Pitt and Penn State, so we've got some of those, out-of-league regional rivalries, and then we'll go to Puerto Rico over Thanksgiving and get on a neutral floor. So, non-conference establish our identity, I think, is really what I want to do more than anything else, and that should hopefully accumulate some wins along the way. And then, that was new for me when you get the Big 12 schedule and you start to look at it and you're trying to find, okay, where's these win streaks coming? And it's just not always easy to tell, and we'll learn more about all the teams, I think, as the preseason goes. But, it's going to be a gauntlet, but that's what we signed up for, and that's what we're excited about.
And you've played in your previous stops, played a lot of Big 12 teams. So what is this about this league that makes it so tough night in and night out, you think?
Yeah, well, I think that, and I think the different, there's different philosophies from every coach, so you get different systems every time you go play. So from a preparation standpoint, right, we got to work through zones and presses and man and toughness, and then there'll be size some nights. So I think we're going to get a little bit of everything in this league. I don't know all of the teams, but I've certainly played, like I said, at about half of them and coached against some of these coaches before. So I have a pretty good idea, but really my emphasis has been way more on my current roster than anybody else in the league.
Well, congratulations and welcome to the Big 12 to you. Ladies, wishing you the very best of luck all season. We will be back with the contingent from Oklahoma in just a few minutes. Thank you all.
Thank you.